Welcome to Fox 55's Green and Gold Gridiron.
It was billed as a Super Bowl preview, and that game lived up to the hype. When it was all said and done, the Packers defeat the New England Patriots 26-21. What an outstanding game for us to talk about. The Packers also moving into first place for the best record in the NFC. Thank you so much for joining us on Fox 55's Green and Gold Gridiron. I am Brian Groff, as always, alongside former Packers and Badgers offensive lineman Bill Ferrario.
How you doing, Brian? That was a spectacular game, to say the least. Very exciting. Exciting to watch our defense truly step up, something we've been seeing improvements all season long, but really saw the defense step up in this game.
Jana Wimmer and Keith Rordink will join us shortly, as well as our special guest who had a hand in that Packers victory over the Patriots. Now, coming into this game, New England had won 7 straight, including 3 over division leaders. That's what the Packers are at this point. And the Packers scored on all 5 first-half possessions. They just kept moving the ball up and down the field. You wondered if they were settling for field goals, if that would come back and bite them at some point.
I think there was a little concern of that at the beginning. Like we said last week, my concern was that I didn't want it to get into a shootout. I didn't think we'd be able to win a shootout against Tom Brady and the Patriots. So there was concern initially about the field goals and the red zone situation, but I think over the long haul, our defense stood strong and our offense scored points when we needed them to.
And you know who stood out again? Aaron Rodgers and Jordy Nelson. It looked like Rodgers may have saw something when they go into a timeout and come out, and then that touchdown right before the half, that really gave them a lot of momentum going into the break.
It absolutely did. This was a huge play. As we always say, the protection was there, but yeah, you saw Jordy Nelson. Jordy Nelson just always finds a way to get open, and Aaron Rodgers always finds that open Jordy Nelson.
And still, it came down to the defense in that fourth quarter, and there's the pass breakup in the end zone, and then the sack on third down. Mike Neal and Mike Daniels finally getting to Tom Brady.
You know, it took a long time. There wasn't much pressure on him throughout the game, but I think the sack came at the right time of the game. Very important play. Sort of set the tone for the end of the game there and rattled Tom Brady.
And it pushed him back, which led to a missed field goal. So at that point, 26-21, some people kind of wondering, do you go for the field goal or go for it on fourth down like they did earlier? But ultimately a missed field goal, and then the Packers put the wraps on it on offense.
Yeah, and I was even surprised they went for the field goal. I thought with Belichick and Brady there that they would have gone for it on fourth down and gone for the win as opposed to putting it back in Aaron Rodgers' hands.
Jana Wimmer was at that game. She and I have 180 common Facebook friends. Bill, how many do you have in common with her?
I'm not sure, but that's a big number you guys have in common.
That's a good number. She covered the game. She has our recap. Jana.
Yeah, you guys talked a little bit about struggles in the red zone. The Packers went 0 for 4 in the red zone, but still put up nearly 500 yards on offense and helped fuel Green Bay to their biggest win of the season. We take a closer look in this week's Breaking the Huddle. And guys, just as a point of reference, Devontae Adams currently has better numbers in his rookie season than both Jordy Nelson and Randall Cobb, and he probably has more Facebook friends too.
We'll have to check on that. It's great to see that third receiver emerge in that receiving corps.
It is exciting. He's really stepped it up. I think Aaron and him had some issues at the beginning of the season. I think he hit the film room, studied the book, and really picking it up, and it's exciting watching him play.
He had that drop at the goal line. We thought that would turn out to be a turning point as well. But I think he's a guy that as he moves along, they're going to see a lot of great things out of him.
Absolutely, I agree.
All right, much more to come here on Fox 55's Green and Gold Gridiron with Bill Ferrario. I'm Brian Groff. We will have our special guest join us after the break, a 9th-year cornerback for the Green Bay Packers. Stick around, everyone. Welcome back to Fox 55's Green and Gold Gridiron. Bill Ferrario, Brian Groff, and the man to my left, Keith Rordink from PackerReport.com. Your feature this week on the Packers defense. That's a go-to topic for you this year.
You know, it kind of has been. And after Sunday's game, I mean, what a gritty, unrelenting performance. I think we knew Aaron Rodgers and company, they were going to get their points some way, somehow. I didn't know what this defense was capable of against a team with Brady and Gronkowski and LeGarrette Blount. And, I mean, they were averaging 40 points a game over 6 games. So, I mean, they stayed after him. And in the end of the game, they absolutely shut him down. So what a fantastic win.
And the man to your left, part of that Packers defense and special teams that helped contain the New England Patriots, a 9th-year cornerback out of Utah State. Made the team originally as waiver claim off of Carolina in 2006 and currently ranking among the leaders in Pro Bowl voting, over 100 special teams tackles in his career. Please say hello to Jarrett Bush.
Hey. Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Jarrett, right after the game, you said Coach McCarthy deserved a game ball. Talk about his game plan and how the Packers went through and fulfilled what he set out?
Well, really can't get too much into the game plan, but I mean, just believing in this plan, believing in the game plan, believing in the scheme that we plan for the Patriots. They do a lot of movement, basically kind of pick routes with their offense. They run the ball, very strongly, and you got to contain Gronkowski and like Garrett Blunt back there, and they definitely do like a empty set. They kind of spread you out in space, kind of get you out there. And I think he stayed true to what he knew best, what our defense is capable of, and what the offense is capable of with the connection with A-Rod and Jordy Nelson, and along with Randall Cobb is coming quite along.
Really, with Randall Cobb, I wanted to touch on that next.
Yeah.
He put him in the backfield and really got out in space. Randall, going back and watching this game a second time, Randall really jumped out at me.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's made some spectacular catches. I remember, I think it was 2 weeks ago, he made one-hand catch in the back of the end zone. That was pretty nice. And he's very versatile. Being a former quarterback, he's able to read the defense very nicely, and he can run the ball, catch the ball out the backfield, and just kind of give different looks for the defense and give them trouble. So.
And that's what it was, really. There were some unscouted looks there. I mean, Randall in the backfield more than we had seen. There was the flip pass to Jarrett Bush. I think Devontae stepping up, having a big game going against the nickelback. I mean, I think that's what it was with Belichick. He's kind of always doing that chess match, and I think on Sunday it was a lot of Mike McCarthy doing the same thing. Yeah,
I mean, it's definitely it's all about the matchups. And Devontae, I think on any corner is going to be a nightmare, along with Jordy, on the outside, and Randall Cobb. So it's kind of like pick your poison. And Devontae, he's only going to get better with experience. And Randall Cobb, along with some of the other receivers like Jarrett Boykin, are only going to get better and have a lot of talent, a lot of bright futures ahead of them.
Jarrett, I know during the season everybody proposed this as the Super Bowl during the regular season.
Yeah.
Do you guys as a team feel you looked at it as just another game, or do you feel there was extra preparation in the film room after practice?
There was a little extra film room study, but at the same time I felt like we saw the playoff game because everybody in the media was talking about a Super Bowl preview, but I think it was more like a playoff game because I think we're going to see him again. I think in the Super Bowl, So I think that was my mentality going into the game. I can't speak for my other teammates, but just being in the past, being an AFC, top team, especially 3-time Super Bowl champs, in the past. That, I don't know how many times division titles. So we definitely had to bring our best foot forward, and I think we did that this past weekend.
Absolutely.
Patriots head coach Bill Belichick is a man of very few words.
Yeah.
What did you make of the sign of respect when he talked to Coach McCarthy after the game and went up to Aaron Rodgers? It seemed like it was a little bit more. Sometimes it's just a sort of a passing handshake and he's off, but it was more than that. He had a few things to say.
I think it was just more of a sign of respect. Like, hey, because I mean the past 2 matches we had in 2006 and 2010, they had our number. They came up on top. So this time, I felt like it was time to change the tide. And I think it was time to shake hands. Like, good job, a lot of respect. You got us this one, and that's that. So I mean, because Belichick, he doesn't lose too many games, especially close ones. And I think there was one stat that was appalling to me is that anytime they have a running back that reaches to over 100 yards, I think they're 40-1. So I think that's pretty outstanding because no matter what, any running back can do that. Just to come out with a win. Like I said, as a stat, it stood out to me and kind of hit home. So.
You guys held them to 84 rushing, so definitely stayed under that line for sure.
Speaking of that, during our defensive meetings, our defensive line coach, I think he stood up there during his presentation. I think it took him about 45 minutes, to go through his presentation when normally it's like 15. But he took the time and detailed, his presentation. And he took a little more time, I think, and I think it paid dividends, in the long run. So.
You've really emerged as a special teams ace for this team, and you're up there in Pro Bowl voting. What would that mean for you to be able to earn that honor?
Oh man, just to be put up, in those great names that have made those Pro Bowl lists. You can go down the list from Amon Green to Al Harris, Charles Woodson, Nick Collins, Travis Jersey. I saw some of the names in the training room. Larry McCarron made it twice. Paul Kaufman. I can sit here, to the end of the night and keep naming names, but just to be among those names is something great and truly an honor, to represent the Green Bay Packer organization at the Pro Bowl.
You mentioned Paul Kaufman. You got to spend some time with him on the Packers tailgate tour.
Yeah.
I'm sure your interception in the Super Bowl was brought up by fans. What was that experience like for you when you traveled around the state?
Oh, it was great. Just to see, the fans and just in different parts of the state, and just how much they truly appreciate, our football here in Green Bay. And doesn't matter if they're right there up north or down south. I mean, they all appreciate it. And whenever they can get to a game, they get there. And but of course, some of the fans are pretty distant. They definitely watch on TV, and they're always telling me, they're always screaming through the TV, sending me positive magic, this signal. So it's pretty cool, man, just to hear from all the fans, across the state.
Now, Jarrett, we saw your interception from Super Bowl 45 there against Roethlisberger, but I was going back watching Super Bowl 45 highlights today. You were the guy that had that final pass breakup on 4th and 5, that pass to Mike Wallace. You got up hanging onto the ball at the end of the game. How was that?
Even sometimes when I sit back and I'm going to sleep at night, I'm like, man, what if I just got that second pick? Because I felt like I dropped it. And, if I was just caught it, I could.
Yeah, he kind of reached out with one hand, and you had yours in there.
But, I mean, at the same time, it was a great achievement, great team achievement. And I kind of look at that. I'm like, you know what, we won, and we didn't just accept just being there. And, hopefully we can continue to, get another one this year because, I mean, we're on the roll. We just got to keep that snowball effect and just keep the momentum going. And hopefully we can keep these fans loud out there, especially for this next Atlanta game, and, give Matt Ryan, some trouble.
Do you still have that football?
Oh, I sure do. My dad has it.
Where
It's
is
in
it?
the frame. I actually wanted to send it to Ben and see if he could sign it. I haven't done that yet. But
You think he will?
I think he would. I think he's a good
Yeah.
guy. I mean, he might write a note. It's pretty, as a joke, but yeah, I think that would be pretty cool. Just something to look back at.
We're going to turn now to our Titletown topics with Jarrett Bush, our special guest. Jana, what do we have starting off?
Well, we talked a little bit about the Packers defense. They held Tom Brady to just 245 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. Guys, what surprised you most about this Green Bay defense on Sunday?
Well, my take on it is week after week, I think I've been surprised from week one by how well they've been playing defensively and the improvements they've been able to make week after week, whether it's tackling or getting after quarterbacks or even more importantly, stopping the run. And in this game we see here going up against a very high-powered offense with a solid running game, and the Packer defense just stood up and made some huge stops. So that's my take on the defense so far this season.
Yeah, I mean, I think just being resilient, even after a bad game like New Orleans, and then coming back and responding well to that type of game, it says a lot about the character, about your team, the coaches, and just how resilient, how we can bounce back after something bad happens, and I think it pays dividends, just being, just true to yourself, believing in yourself, believing in the defense, believing in what Dom is trying to accomplish as a whole defense. And I think Clay Matthews, Julie Peppers, definitely help us, just moving the quarterback's eyes and just cause fumbles back there and maybe, a couple tips and get a few picks back there. And I think we just got to, just keep believing in ourselves, keep getting the quarterback up the spot and then tackling. I think that's one of the biggest things that we've had issues with, but I think we've corrected down the road.
So as I told Jarrett during a break, I picked the Patriots to win last week.
Man.
My bad. I got booed
We
by
weren't going to bring
everybody.
that up.
Well, that's all right. I should be called out. But, what a great performance. And, again, you mentioned resilient a couple different times.
Yeah.
I think especially the pass rush. so many guys were so close the whole game. It wasn't until that final offensive play of the game by the Patriots that Mike Neal and Mike Daniels come together for a little Brady sandwich action, and that on 3rd and 9, and then the play before with HaHa that we saw ripping that ball away in the end zone on Gronk. That's what it was. It was rotating guys through on Gronk from Morgan to HaHa to Clay Matthews to Micah. Everybody kind of chipping in, not stopping him, but slowing him down and making the key plays. You had Sam Barrington, who was on here a couple weeks ago, getting the start. That broke broke 80 consecutive games that A.J. Hawk had started, but they played Sam and Clay Matthews together in the nickel. They brought in A.J. on the base. I think that was a great combination, and again, something the Patriots weren't expecting.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to have to take a timeout. When we come back, we'll have topics 2 and 3 next on Fox 55's Green and Gold Gridiron.
Welcome back to Green and Gold Gridiron. We are at Scotty's in Schofield, and we have Packers cornerback Jarrett Bush here with us. It's time for topic number 2, and we have been talking Packers defense, and we're going to stay there. Atlanta visits Lambeau Field next week for Monday Night Football. They just beat Arizona in a game few people saw coming, with offensive weapons like Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, and Steven Jackson. Guys, how does Green Bay prepare?
Jarrett, how do you prepare?
You know, first off, you got to watch the film. You got to see what they what they did in the past, what they struggled with, what they were good at. Third downs or being in the red zone or whatnot. Based on what I've seen on film, they're having a little trouble protecting the quarterback, Matt Ryan. So in the Baltimore game, they had a few sacks. I think they shut him out to the third quarter. So we're definitely gonna be mixing some things up on the D line, and hopefully we can get him off the spot and get a few interceptions, because I know Joe Hayden had an interception against him at home there in Atlanta. So I think that's going to be our game plan, just kind of make him uncomfortable as possible. Stop Steven Jackson as best we can, hopefully underneath 100 yards, and man up Julio Jones, kind of get hands on him, make him frustrated, along with Roddy White. So, I mean, there's no more Tony Gonzalez. Yep. So I think that's going to make our job a little bit easier. So,
yeah, and Roddy White's missed a few games. He's going to be back on Monday. But, yeah, I mean, Julio Jones had almost 200 yards receiving on Sunday. That was a huge win for them against Arizona. But this is a Falcon team that's really kind of underachieved. I mean, they only had 3 wins coming in, 2 against Tampa, 1 against Carolina. So, I mean, you guys don't want to take anyone lightly after the big win on Sunday. But, not. I mean, I think if the defense plays like they've been playing, I'm hoping for more of the same.
Harry Douglas, too, at receiver. Bill?
I'm excited to see the defense just keep playing the way they've been, keep stepping up, keep improving. And like Jarrett said, I'm excited to see our D-line expose some holes in Atlanta's offensive line and just keep getting after Matt Ryan and getting some more sacks out of this game.
Topic 3.
The Packers are tied with Arizona and Philadelphia for the best record in the NFC, and the Lions are still kind of hanging around. Guys, how do you think Green Bay stacks up as we start talking home field advantage for the playoffs?
I mean, I think when you look at the schedule down the stretch, Arizona definitely has the toughest road ahead of them with Seattle and San Francisco. I think we've seen what you guys did against Philly, so I feel like if Green Bay keeps doing what they're doing, I mean, the road to the Super Bowl absolutely could and should go through Lambeau Field.
I definitely think we have the advantage schedule-wise. Like Heath said, I think it favors us. It favors the games we have remaining, and with home field advantage with the Packers, I mean, who knows what's going to happen with that. So very excited to see the Packers playing at home through the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree. You really don't know how the playoffs are going to play out. I mean, all you can do is just focus on yourself and your team and what you want to accomplish, and just keep stacking those wins. And if teams start to fall off, we start to move up. I mean, that's just been for us and have the favor in our court. So, I mean, that's like I said, you just got to keep doing what we're doing.
Arizona has St. Louis Rams as well, a very good team this year too.
Absolutely.
And the Packers and Lions, we're still looking down the road a little bit. You can't do that, I know, because it's one game at a time, but still looking at that in Week 17. We are in 3-down territory, so we're doing the 3 downs this evening. We will take a break. When we come back, we'll have Bill's Breakdown and our Fox 55 Pick'ems. It is time now for our Bills breakdown. In the fourth quarter, the Packers needed to convert a 3rd down to put this game on ice, and that they did. Aaron Rodgers to Randall Cobb. Tell us how they did it, Bill.
Well, how do we always do it on offense? It always starts up front with the offensive line.
It is.
And in this play, you can see it's a great protection, but we have Randall Cobb starting off in the backfield here, goes out and lines up, and I do joke about the protection, but as you can see here, the guys stay manned up with their guys. Aaron takes his time in the backfield, eventually finds Randall Cobb coming across the middle, makes a great pass, and Randall Cobb ends up making a great catch on this play. So all in all, it was a crucial point in the game coming up at the 2-minute mark of the fourth quarter, and with this completion, sealed the victory for the Packers.
And Tom Brady said something on TV that can never be repeated on television, and everybody recognized that as well.
Especially not on Fox.
That came right after. That would never happen.
But it starts with the same letter.
So that is our Bills breakdown. Time now for our Fox 55 Pick'ems, and Keith took a team not named the Packers, so we have His son's
Oh,
here
you don't
to
have
make
to.
sure
But
that
you don't
doesn't
have to
happen
keep
again.
booing.
Elbowing him from last week, huh?
I said I hope that was wrong. I know. Sorry, it's a little embarrassing now with Jarrett here. I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's all right. No feelings hurt.
Your family's here. A player is
I
here.
know.
You're not
Since
red
I
in the
since
face
I
at
didn't
all.
make the right picks last week,
There
we
you
brought
go.
in some help, right?
There we go.
There you go.
All right,
Let's
we're
help
going to do
Dad
our
out.
picks. What do we have, Jana?
First game up, we have Cowboys at Bears, and that game is on Thursday night.
I have a feeling a lot of people are going to take Dallas, so I'll go Bears.
I think Tony Romo and the offensive line are going to do it.
Cowboys.
Next up, we have the Buccaneers at the Lions, and that game is right here on Fox 55. And I'm going with the Lions at home.
The Lions need to lose a game like this, but I don't know if it's going to be this one.
That's a good thing. It's a good thing I have help up here. Here, lift that up, boys.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with Lions, Matt Stafford, and Megatron. Get it
Detroit.
done.
Lions across the board. Then we have Jets at Vikings, and I think the Jets are worse than the Vikings, so I'm going with the Vikings.
I might go all NFC
That's
North
stunning.
teams.
All right, boy.
Yes, that's what I like to hear.
Yeah, Rex Ryan's morals are down.
Buck the trend here. Going with the Jets. I got to help my picks out a little bit.
You do
Was it
it. You're
2
in
and
last
10?
place, I think. Brian's alone at the top. And last but not least, we have Falcons at Packers on Monday Night Football, and this better be across the board this week.
What do you think, guys?
Well, I'm not going to touch it this week.
Kids, help them out. There you go. 10s across the board. Green and
There it
gold,
is.
baby.
Our thanks to Jarrett Bush. Thanks for joining
yeah,
us.
thanks for having me, guys.
Good luck
Yeah,
again
have a blast.
this next week. Keep it rolling in
Yeah.
Green Bay for all of us here on the crew at Fox 55's Green and Gold Gridiron. Thanks for joining us. Next week, our special guest is the guy who joined you on the Packers tailgate tour in Merrill. He lives up there, former linebacker Mike Hunt. He will be with us next week. So stick around, everyone, and join us next time. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching Fox 55's Green and Gold Gridiron.